Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas the high priest, in whose house the scribes and elders had gathered. But Peter was following him at a distance, as far as the courtyard of the high priest, and going inside he sat with the guards in order to see how this would end. Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for false testimony against Jesus so that they might put him to death. But they found none, though many false witnesses came forward. At least 2 came forward and said, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it up in 3 days.'" The high priest stood up and said, "Have you no answer? What is it they testify against you?" But Jesus was silent. Then the high priest said to him, "I put you under oath before the living God to tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." And Jesus said to him, "You have said so. But I tell you, from now on you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "He has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? You have now heard this blasphemy. What is your verdict?" And they answered, "He deserves death." Then they spat in his face and struck him, and some slapped him, saying, "Prophesy to us, you Messiah. Who is it that has struck you?" As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council, and they bound Jesus and led him away to take him to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Pilate then called together the chief priests and leaders and the people and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who's perverted the people, and here I have examined him in your presence and have found this man not guilty of any of the charges you have given against him. Neither has Herod, for he sent him back to us. Indeed, he has done nothing to deserve death. I will therefore have him flogged and release him." And then they all shouted out together, "Away with this fellow! Release Barabbas for us!" This was a man who had been put in prison for an insurrection that had taken place in the city and for murder. Pilate, wanting to release Jesus, addressed them again. But they kept shouting, "Crucify! Crucify him!" A third time he said to them, "Why? What evil has he done? I have found in him no grounds for the sentence of death. I will therefore flog him and release him." But they kept urgently demanding with loud shouts that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed. So Pilate gave his verdict that their demand should be granted. He released the man they asked for, the one who had been put in prison for insurrection and murder, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over as they wished. Then the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the palace, and they called together the whole cohort. And they clothed him in a purple cloak, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him, "Hail, the King of the Jews!" They struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt down in homage to him. And after mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes back on him, and they led him out to crucify him. And carrying the cross by himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. And as they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon, and compelled the man to carry his cross. And when they came to the place called Golgotha, they offered him some wine to drink mixed with gall, but when he tasted it, he would not drink it. As hard as it is to journey into this story, brothers and sisters, it's important that we receive what this story has to say to us. Because we can journey from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday as easy as anybody else, but if we forget all that happened on Thursday night and on Friday morning, then we're missing one of the most important parts of the story. So my hope is that by simply addressing these scriptures, we might recognize the importance of what happened while we were sleeping. That we might recognize that Jesus willingly allowed himself to be arrested and disrespected and spat upon. So remember, brothers and sisters, Christ did all this for you. So as we start our day of Good Friday, I hope you remember that for Jesus, this was not a good day.